welcome to Bullpen Barbecue. I'm your pitmaster, Justin Fabiano. Guys, it has been so long since we have done a full-length cooking video. I'm a teacher, my wife is a teacher, and life gets busy. But we appreciate all of you guys following us on social media, looking at our Instagram stories, sending comments and things like that. But we wanted to get back into the kitchen and give you a full-length video. There's no better time than right around Thanksgiving, because my favorite food at Thanksgiving is turkey. Now, so many people love the sides, and I love the sides too, but turkey's the star of the show. And so I wanted to do a full-length video to maybe give you a little bit of inspiration to find a fun way to cook some turkey. I'll be right up front with you. The recipe that we're going to cook today is not my recipe. It is Meat Church's maple bourbon brined turkey recipe. It looked really, really good on their YouTube channel. So I was like, let me try this and see if it's good, and I'll let you guys know. It certainly looks really good. So we're going to try that today. We're also going to do some Texas turkey breast. We'll have a video on that for your more traditional kind of barbecue style turkey breast. But this video is straight up Meat Church's video that we're going to try and report back to you guys and let you know whether or not it's good. Hopefully I certainly do it right. Let's talk about the turkey. All right, so I grew up big turkeys, butterball turkeys, 99 cents a pound, pre-brined turkeys. Never brine them. My mom throws the seasoning on them, puts them in an oven bag, puts them in the oven. You know, it doesn't really come out dry. She does a pretty good job with it. When I got into barbecue, I wanted to try some different things when it comes to turkey, and I've always done the turkey breast. But again, even those at Walmart, grocery store, whatever, they still come pre-brined in that salt solution. So for this particular recipe, I had to find a turkey without a salt solution. And every video says, you gotta do the turkey that's not pre-brined. You gotta do the turkey that's not pre-brined. The only place I could find one around here is Whole Foods. So I had to go to Whole Foods, and yeah, I spent a little bit more money on the turkey than I normally do, but I wanted to try it for this recipe. I didn't want to brine a pre-brined turkey and make it super salty. So I did go to Whole Foods and get one. The size of the turkey, let's talk about that. I grew up, again, 20, 25 pound birds, all for the Thanksgiving leftovers, soup, fried rice. I mean, my mom did the works with Thanksgiving leftovers, so we always got a giant bird. Everything I'm reading this season, though, says you don't want to do that. You want to get somewhere 10, maybe 12 to 14 pounds. You don't want to go over 14 pounds. Some people say 10 to 14 pounds. Some people say 12 to 14 pounds. So I kind of found one right in the sweet spot and just got one right at 13 pounds. So that's what this turkey is, 13-pound turkey from Whole Foods. Okay, let's talk about the brine. This recipe looks super fun, and it starts with the brine. I picked up a package of Meat Church Bird Baptism at Coastal Cupboard in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. If you're in the Charleston area and you like to cook, particularly if you like to cook outdoors, you need to give Coastal Cupboard a visit. They are wonderful people. They did not pay me to say this. They didn't give me this for free. I bought all this stuff. I just really like shopping at that store, and they deserve your business if you're a kitchen fanatic like me and my wife are. Bird Baptism brine. Got the brine bag also from Coastal Cupboard. All right, Matt Pittman at Meat Church, this is what he did, so this is what I'm going to do. He took this brine, heated it up in a little under a gallon of water. I did it in 3/4 of a gallon of water. Heated it up to almost a boil, dissolved everything, let it cool. In another quart mixing, or another quart measuring glass, I put 3/4 cup of bourbon, 3/4 cup of good maple syrup, not Aunt Jemima's or Miss Butterworth's, but actual good. Unfortunately, this is Canadian. It's not Vermont. I couldn't find Vermont, so ode to Canada here. And then filled the rest of it up with water to get to the quart so that I could have an even gallon. All right, mixed all that together, put it in the brine bag. This turkey has been sitting on the brine for 12, 13 hours now. What we're gonna do, take it out of the brine, spatchcock it, glaze it with some binder, which is going to be butter and maple syrup. Season it with Texas sugar from Meat Church. I usually do turkey with a homemade rub that I really, really, really like because it's that traditional Texas flavor. But we're going to follow this one to the Meat Church tea. So we're going to put Texas sugar on it. We're going to cook it at 275 until it hits the right internal temperature, kind of glazing or basting along the way. and slice it up and eat it. So we hope that you'll stick around with us from start to finish here. That being said, let's go get started. Okay, so we took our turkey out of the brine here. I can tell you right now, I can still smell that bourbon and that maple on that turkey. So we're gonna see what kind of flavor that imparts. Let me grab this guy out of the sink here, okay? Spatchcocking, pretty easy. You're just gonna follow this backbone here. You can take some kitchen shears, a chef's knife, really whatever you got to try to just cut that out. Let me get some of that brine out of there. Make a mess on my counter here. Kitchen shears are great. Somebody told me a long time ago, we do a lot of cooking with scissors. And that guy knows how to cook. So as you can see, I'm just kind of riding right here along that backbone and just trying to get after it, staying as tight to that spine, just kind of following a line here. There we go. All right, that backbone's out of there. We're just gonna clean this guy up a little bit. Get some of this kind of garbage stuff out of here that nobody wants. And you can see the color here has changed. Kind of on the inside of this bird, that brine's a little bit orange, which is kind of cool. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do, take this knife here and just kind of slit the breastbone. It's going to stop. And then I'm going to cut just some of this extra fat and skin off here at the tail. All right, and what that's going to do by cutting through this breastbone here is it's going to let me push this thing nice and flat. You're just going to pop your knife in there until you meet some resistance. And that should be good there, okay? So let's get some of that unappetizing stuff cut out of there. That doesn't look very good. Okay, now at this point I can go ahead and actually split this bird in half. And I'm going to take and push this, flip it back around and do it from this way. It might be easier. What you're trying to do is just break that breastbone just like that. All right, and now I can actually lay this guy flat on my cutting board here so we can get that thing seasoned. But that's kind of how that's going to look, is just like this. Let me tuck those wing tips under. Okay, so that gave us a little bit of trouble, but that's all right. At this point now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and wash my hands here, take some paper towels, really dry this skin off so it's not rubbery when we go ahead and cook it. So we will be right back. Our whole bird, we got it rinsed, we got it spatchcocked, we got it patted dry. It is now sitting in the fridge for a little while just to suck a little bit more moisture out of that skin so we can try to crisp it up just a little bit. In the meantime, let's talk Texas turkey breast. So what I have here is I just bought a regular grocery store bone-in young turkey breast, cut the backbone out and deboned it. So now I have just two big turkey breasts. You know, the breast meat is what dries out, you know, the easiest. Everyone talks about that dry breast meat. Well, in Texas, the way that they cook this stuff, there ain't no way it's going to be dry. Why? Because this stuff is wrapped in butter. What I love to season turkey with is my Bullpen Barbecue, just signature rub. This borrows, it's that Texas style salt pepper ratio of the Aaron Franklins of the world for their ribs and their poultry. So it's a little bit pepper forward. It's not quite as salty. And then I also added all the garlic and all the other good stuff. And I kind of based that on Rodney Scott. So there's a little bit of sweetness here. You know, Aaron Franklin is kind of how I got into barbecue. Rodney Scott is probably the biggest pit master in South Carolina. So this rub really blends the two flavors together and is wonderful on turkey breast. You could try a brisket rub on turkey. It's going to be a little saltier. I personally like a beef rub on chicken, so I'm sure it's fine on turkey. But for our other breast today, we're actually going to try this Plowboys Yardbird rub. I love this stuff on pulled pork. It is absolutely wonderful on pulled pork. And it says created for chicken, but made for pork. So I guess they created this for chicken. Turkey's a poultry. We're gonna try this and see how it turns out. Pretty straightforward, just keeping one hand clean, one hand dirty. We're just gonna go nice even coat with the Bullpen Barbecue rub. Again, this is gonna be pepper forward. I mean, you know, if you really dried this out, it would almost kind of taste like jerky, like a pepper jerky. It's really good. It's gonna impart some really good color from the paprika on this turkey breast. All right, so we've got that one done here. Let's keep this one hand clean. And let's go ahead and throw the Yardbird on the other one. And I'm going bone side first. Just get a nice liberal coating of that. And then I'll go skin side next because that's the side that's going to present. And we want to keep that one looking nice and pretty. So let me flip this around and you can kind of see. Let's go kind of liberal here. This shaker is a little bit, makes use a little bit more rub than my shaker, but that's okay. We can just pick it up and it just dusts off, and now we've got a nice little coating here of the Plowboys. I'm gonna hit one of these spots here. All right, and so you can just see straight up, I'll get a close-up here in a second, but you can see straight up on this turkey breast, my rub's got a little bit more pepper. You can certainly see it. The Plowboys rub definitely going to give you some really great color. It looks like a lot more paprika. Certainly some pepper in there, but less. And we're going to smoke these things, wrap them in butter, and kind of taste them at the end while we also work on this whole bird. So stay tuned. Welcome back. This bird was sitting in the fridge for about an hour or so. We let that skin kind of dry up a little bit. Took it out of the fridge. We flipped it, seasoned the inside of it with this Meat Church Texas Sugar. It's Matt Pittman's new rub. This is the first time I've really tried it. It's supposed to be a Southwest flavor profile. I can certainly taste that, you know, just by dipping my finger in it and trying it. Kind of reminds me of honey hog with a little bit of heat. So we're hoping that this turns out on this bird. What I did do is brush it with some maple butter to act as the binder, season it. Now we're just gonna let it sit here for about 15 minutes. And just let that kind of get wet, just like ribs or pork butt or whatever. And then we're going to put it on the smoker, cook it at 275. All right, we're outside now. That turkey's been taking in that rub for about 15 or 20 minutes or so. We've got our smoker preheated. It's running a little hot at like 285. Yeah, it's just running a little hot, so you know, you just got to vent some heat a little bit. If it gets up over 275 a little bit, it's fine. Gets under 250 a little bit, it's fine. It's a chillier day out here. You know, we'll fight to keep temperatures steady. As long as we got a clean burning fire, I care more about that. So let's go ahead and grab this turkey here, and we're gonna put this thing on the smoker. The first thing I'm gonna do, though, is just grab a little bit of this rub and just touch up kind of the front of this breast that I didn't really get a chance to get some seasoning on. Now's a good time to touch up that rub. And we're gonna go breast side to the fire here. So as soon as I get this up, remember this thing is 13 pounds. Try to get it in there. We want to get it nice and tucked in because that's how it's going to cook. And it's going to be nice and pretty. We're going to cook this thing until it hits 158 internal. It's going to carry over to 165. That's going to help us not keep it dried out. We'll see you guys in a little bit when it's all done. I just wanted to check in with you. My lovely camera woman had to go pick up our dogs from the groomers. That turkey's getting some wonderful color. Take a look at the breasts. They're wrapped with pats of butter, skin side down, back on the smoker. The temperatures here, 144 on those breasts. We're at 211. We've been at 275, 285 really most of the day here. You can see that temperature creeping back up. After I close the lid, we'll pull these breasts off at 160. That whole turkey is going to take a little bit longer, and we'll check in a little bit. Well, those turkey breasts came off, and they look phenomenal. On the left here is the one that I cooked with my rub, the Bullpen Barbecue rub. On the right here is the one I made with the Plowboys Yardbird rub. Let's go in for a little taste here. I took a little sliver off the top already. But that's all right. Let's get a little cut of that. It's buttery, moist. You can't beat that. Let's go in for the bullpen rub. Again, it's juicy. That crust is good. I think you'll like the color you get on the Flatboy rub, but with this bullpen rub, you just can't beat that peppery bark on the outside there. It's just so good. The big turkey's still on. We'll see in a little bit when that one comes off. All right, well, this bad boy is done. We pulled it at 160, let it rest up to 165. So everything is done. We've got some really, really good mahogany color on here. And at this point, it's time to go ahead and carve into it and take a bite and see how we did. We're just gonna cut a little slice of breast off there. My Lord, it's moist. You can really taste the bourbon. You can taste the sweetness from the rum and the maple syrup. This recipe, unbelievable. Hats off to Meat Church. I can't wait to stick the rest of my teeth into this tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching Bullpen Barbecue. We hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time.